Gambling is a gamble. I'm trying to find a interesting title. The gambling disorder, as is, it's characterized by the DSM-5. It is a persistent and recurrent problematic gambling behavior leading to clinically significant impairment or distress, as indicated by the individual exhibiting four or more of the following conditions in a 12-month period. It's interesting that 12 months and four of the conditions is all that is required. Anyway, one, the individual needs to gamble with increasing amounts of money in order to achieve that original high he received from successfully gambling in the first place. The another condition is that the compulsive gambler has already made unsuccessful efforts to control, cut back, stop gambling, but continues to, despite having recognized that he or she has an issue with gambling, and that regardless of what is going on around them, uh, serious financial setbacks, problems with family, work, other problems. Three, another is that the individual is preoccupied with gambling. The conversations the individual has, it's either about how he gambled in the past, what kind of gambling he's doing right now, or what kind of gambling he plans on doing in the future. And if every other weekend the gambler, or every weekend the gamblers talk about playing cards or going to Vegas, it's difficult not to buy into some of it, especially in the beginning. Another condition is if you recognize that the individual is restless or irritable when attempting to stop, when they're trying to stop gambling. That's one of the things that helps them recognize whether or not they have issues. The gambler is often depressed or in distress and feeling helpless, lots of anxiety. The gambler also continues, after losing money, will return to the scene of the crime and try to get that time back. And they call it chasing the loss. The gambler often tries to conceal his or her involvement with lying, and that usually contributes to bad relationships. The compulsive gambler, has jeopardized, lost significant relationships and or educational opportunities because of gambling. And the compulsive gambler relies on other people to help provide to get him or herself out of a financial situation because he or she is losing all that money somewhere else. The gambling is the only condition that has been married with substance abuse. Behavioral conditions that do not involve ingestion or substances, they have similarities to substance-related disorders. And the only one disorder is gambling. That there is so much data out there for gamblers on gambling that it has been included into the same area as substance abuse. I highlighted some of the characteristics, feeling that and a lot of them redefine over and over again. The gambler feels like he has to you replace drug with gamble regularly, daily or 7 times a day. The gambler has intense urges to gamble, and they block out all the other discussions. They're absolutely preoccupied with it. They spend all their money on the drug, which is the gambling. They're not meeting obligations. Their relationships are in shambles. And they continue to use even after knowing that they can't afford to continue. Pathological gambling is more widespread than ever. And that's part of the problem, is knowing it. Due to the internet and you can gamble in supermarkets, slot machines, you can gamble at home. So that's part of the problem, is that it's so widespread and easy. What helps to reduce the amount of gambling is education, because people can recognize when they have the symptoms, or they can recognize the symptoms in other people. The government has started providing support to problem gamblers, and it's a little slippery slope, because states that have casinos, they're receiving a lot of revenue, so they you hear a lot more about government sponsored treatment for gambling for states that don't have as many, that don't have that income coming in. There's plenty of helplines for gamblers. There's helplines for gamblers all over Las Vegas. You just don't see them too much in the casinos. And there's plenty of support groups and organizations. There's also formal treatment, both inpatient and outpatient. It's a little tricky there, because not everyone's insurance covers gambling addiction. One of the things that is on the rise is adolescent gambling. And the adolescents know how to pull up a gambling app on their phone a lot easier than adults do, and a lot of and they use all types of ways that they could use to gamble. Sometimes they gamble bitcoins. Sometimes they gamble for credits to use in other games. And for the adolescent, they could see themselves getting into trouble really fast, and makes it very difficult to get out of it, especially if you don't even have a job, or you have to get money for your parents. You end up having a criminal record. Lots of the primary issue is money, and just like addicts, they'll chase that drug until they can chase it no more. Lots of teens, they do it for fun. They do it for excitement. Sometimes they're bored. Not every child wants to play Xbox, and some people are good with making money gambling, but in the end, the house always wins. Pathological gambling is a public health issue, because it really affects those people most vulnerable, minorities, people who low economic status, people can't afford it, people who are desperate. And the mobile gambling makes it easier for them. Everyone's got a cell phone. Everyone is looking to make extra money. But there's plenty of help. Therapy has been used to help change the way people look at their situations. So behavioral, cognitive, they're going to help reshape the way that first what was successful to them, or that successful feeling, replace it with other things. Medications, antidepressants. We talk about depression and bipolar. It's the disorders. A lot of the medications are similar to keep the addict more even off that high from gambling. And self-help groups like Gamblers Anonymous really helps to helps a person know that they are not alone, and that is one of the most important things, that people know that they don't have to go through this by themselves. And take a look at those references, and thank you very much.